Welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. It is a beautiful day here in the heart of God's country. It is a little bit of a, what is it? All things are good in Mudville. There's still whatever.
Oh, Mighty Casey has struck
Mighty
out.
Casey has struck out. It is June the 26th in the year of our Lord, 2026, day after. Now, I'm just going to do some confessing to all of y'all. I spent the last couple of weeks trying to convince Alabamians that they should watch World Cup soccer. Not because I'm a big soccer guy, but because I was excited about, I think it was a spillover from the Winter Olympics, watching the hockey team, getting to hear Leonard Skinner's Free Bird, or at least the best part of that song,
Free Bird,
over and over and over, with videos of hockey and American Eagles and hockey and Rocky and hockey and Alabama football and hockey and trucks with flags hanging off of them and hockey and American fighter jets and hockey and American girls with American flags and hockey. And it was just, I'm just like, let's go. So I get that feeling. I see the opportunity. I try to convince people to watch American soccer. I had multiple conversations with people, including y'all in this audience, about how I watched the first couple of games and we didn't do the plain old, run around in space and the ball's just rolling around on the grass, and we were getting after it. And I told about how they had review for yellow cards and the flopping was going to be minimized, and more people watched one of the American soccer games than any other soccer game that had been televised, I think, in the United States. Everybody's looking forward to it. It's all over social media. And we all turned it on last night, and yes, I've got all sorts of thoughts, Sky. We don't send our starters in because, and there's a good reason, because the game technically did not matter because we're already into the next round. So we play the B team, the second string. But then look, let's be honest, the second string guys for a national team are better than anybody we know. And I don't know much about soccer, but it's like when one of us dog out an NFL player who plays bad, or an NBA player who's like second string, or a G League player, And I'm like, he is better than anyone you have ever played against. He's better than anybody in my town has ever produced. So he may not be the best NBA guy, but he's the best guy around here by far. So let's not diminish how good they are. Did you see any of the game last night, Sky?
I did. I as I promised.
Yeah.
Flipped it on right on time, and
they
had to look it up. They were playing in Los Angeles.
They were, and the stadium was packed out.
Man, I'm telling you, they showed up.
I won a bet against my son on that one, too, by the way.
I kept up with it. Martha kept up with it. She's the one who asked the question, where are they playing?
Yeah.
She's all into the whole, the visitors enjoying America.
Oh, I know. I'm for
out.
it, but I just feel bad because I convinced people to watch this thing, and our second string guys run out there, and not all of them, a couple of them did, but they just didn't hustle. Scott, you don't understand soccer. I understand the difference in that first team I watched a couple of days. Turkey had not scored in group play or pool play, as we call it at travel baseball. Had not scored, Sky. They scored 3 on the United States.
They did.
They didn't score against Paraguay or against Australia, and they scored 3 on us. Yes.
Oh.
That's how bad it is.
Ouch.
They had not scored. And yes, there's an argument to be made. They were trying to beat the infidels and the home team and the whole 9 yards. I get it.
Well, they had nothing to lose. They're going home anyway, so they could go
so
all out.
why was nothing to lose going home anyway more inspiring than playing in front of 70,000 American fans, or not all American, but fans? When we tell, this is another thing we're talking about this morning, because I'm just bummed out.
Really?
When we're coaching our kids, okay, and they're having to play, and there's two different brackets, and there's a gold bracket, and there's a silver bracket. And do we expect them to play hard in the silver bracket? Do we not teach them that no matter who they're playing, if they're in the game, if they're going to play, do their best, get after it, leave it all on the field? All the things that we teach our children about sports and about life, millions of kids tuned in and watched us not leave it all on the field.
You really think they dogged it?
Well, let me put it this way.
Okay.
We didn't play. One of the arguments against playing some of our starters is they had already gotten yellow cards. And if you get a yellow card, 2 yellow cards in a certain sequence of time, you get suspended basically for a game, okay? And then part of the whining about that game last night was that Turkey was playing so rough, okay?
I noticed that.
Now, I just want to know, I'm just going to tell you for my own personal self. If I'm a second string guy, okay, and I know I'm probably not playing the rest of the World Cup, this is my one chance. And we have to hear about how great the World Cup is, right? Yeah. This is your first time to step on the field in the World Cup. This is your first chance. You're getting to play in the World Cup, World Cup, World Cup. Oh, just ad nauseum, which I have helped fuel that fire. And somebody is playing rough with me. What am I doing? I just about guarantee you I'm getting a yellow card.
Sure.
I'm jacking somebody.
Get after it.
If you're going to come and check me in soccer, you see my hockey reference?
Nice.
I'm going to check you. But the only kid that gets a yellow card that I remember last night was the Berhalter kid who was hustling his butt off. He scored one or two of our goals, or one of our goals. And maybe both, I don't remember. And my thing is, how are you the guy that's not going to get to play probably the next game? And you're like, oh, it's too rough. How are you not getting a yellow card? How are you playing so? Are you protecting your ability to play next game? You get what I'm saying? That is kind of the deciding thing. You telling me, okay, let me ask you this one. U.S. hockey team. You're telling me that when the U.S. hockey team, the rules are different, I get it, and the brackets are different, somebody don't call me. If the U.S. hockey team was in the same situation, okay, already made it to the next round, they're going to play the guys that don't play all the time. Is there a chance on God's green earth that those second-string guys aren't just sacrificing their bodies to beat East Egypt Directional Academy?
The Hanson brothers are coming off the bench.
That's what I don't understand.
And it's going to get ugly.
That's what I don't understand.
With Turkey A, I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could kind of, when the ball's coming in, I didn't know you could shove people in the back.
That's what I'm saying. And then people are whining about the referee letting them get. I watched parts of some of the other games in the World Cup. I've seen guys bear hug people from behind and basically throw them on the ground and get away with it. So last night was not excessively rough, okay? Was it rough at times? Yes. But how do you not fight back?
Right. And especially when you're, like you described, second string, this is your big opportunity. You've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
It's your big opportunity to shine. Get after somebody.
Get after them. I don't get it. And then our defense was just, I mean, I got to watch a bunch of high school soccer. And we got scored on by plays that the high school soccer team runs. It wasn't some fancy stuff.
Basic.
They went to the left and kicked it back across the goal, and the guy just fires it in.
I was looking for what in hockey we call an enforcer. You know,
yes.
Where's that guy? Where is he making it known? Hey, look, we're not putting up with this nonsense.
This is how bad it is, Sky. Where's the Cunningham girl from the WNBA? We don't even have her. Send her out. You know what I would have given to see her pointing at a Turkey player? Like, you know, it's all over the social media now where she's pointing at the girl from the other team. The other girl tried to point at her, and she's just like holding up her hand. I would have given $1,000 to see Cunningham pointing at somebody going, I got you. It's coming.
Yeah, no. Put that elbow in their ribs. Let them know you're there, man. Come on.
Oh, we can't do that. It's just too. I'm like, if it's too sweet and too sanitized to even push back, you're the Americans. And so I apologize to all of y'all for trying to get you to watch the game last night.
It wasn't that bad.
And then they just went and played. Well, but see, you didn't see the first two.
I didn't. Okay, that's true. That's true.
The first two
My
looked like
perspective
what
is limited.
I would envision American soccer to be. We're after you every second. It is Alabama, LSU, when LSU didn't cross the 50-yard line. That's literally what we did to Paraguay. They could not even get back down there to score because we just kept taking the ball away from them before they could get back past midfield.
Couldn't cross midfield.
And we're letting these guys, just
They
run
ran
down.
their offense. I saw that. They're running their offense.
Yeah, across the field, right over our heads.
Yeah.
Taking shots from 30 yards out and almost getting them.
They were very comfortable. Too comfortable.
Too comfortable.
On offense.
So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what their excuses are, but I apologize to y'all in Alabama for making you think. And you know what? They didn't come out to enter Sandman. They didn't hold up four fingers for the fourth quarter. I'm sure somebody said, "Oh, that'd be too lowbrow for." I'm like, do you want people to watch y'all or not?
Man, they better get straightened out.
Well, they didn't do any of the things that people have suggested, so I'm mad at them. I may be on strike. I'm sure I'll be excited by next week, but I could have something to do. The grass could need cutting. We'll be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
We are back, everybody. So maybe Tour will call me and talk me off the cliff, but I think I have turned in my resignation as the second or third biggest soccer fan. Are you a fair weather fan, Scott? Yes, I am.
Oh, no.
When it comes to
say
soccer.
It ain't so.
I'll calm down. But considering that I was ready to go to bed at halftime.
Oh.
Because I was like, this is not the team that I've tuned in to watch. I don't mind losing, but get after it. But I'm sticking with that. Hey, if you can't manage to get a yellow card when the other team's pushing you around, then I need to know what it is you're doing. And don't give me that bougie, that's not how you play, Scott. It is how you play.
Well, if that's not how you play, then I don't want to see any more soccer. But because I know that's how you play the game.
Because
get out there,
this is
run
how
on the
another
field.
way I gauge it. If the modern NBA is rougher than what you're playing, you're not playing.
You've got a problem.
Because the modern NBA is like ballet with a basketball.
I'm right there with you on this. I can tolerate all kind of errors and mistakes, but as long as you're giving maximum effort.
Yeah, I don't care if you get whooped.
Right. But you got to make the maximum effort.
You know, there are times where, you have to look, say a Mississippi State or one of these smaller schools goes and plays Alabama, all right? And they don't get beat 50-something to nothing. They get beat 35-7.
Moral victory.
And you're like, man, you know what? Our boys played their eyeballs out. They freaking fought. Yeah, but they lost by 28, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, but Alabama knows they played a ball game. You get what I'm saying?
I totally understand. That's what I'm all about.
I don't care if it's a consolation game or what do they call a friendly game or a game that doesn't matter. Don't give me that stuff.
Nothing aggravates me more in sports than in baseball when a guy hits, like a weak ground or something or a fly ball and doesn't run it out.
Yes.
It doesn't hustle down to first base. And sometimes it's rare, but there'll be a mistake, an error. And he gets thrown out anyway because he didn't hustle.
Yeah. Well, you know what gets me about this? Say you're just this is the age of social media, right?
Everything's on.
Everything's on is to be seen, and everything is a way. I mean, say you're a second string guy for the U.S. national team. You still probably pick up 200,000 followers on your social media.
Sure.
Get after it, but the more fans, the more people watching, the better your opportunities are. You get a guy that's listening to this program, okay, and he ends up going, I hate soccer, but I'm going to watch soccer. And then he's like, that was cool. That was fun. That was a good game. And then all of a sudden you come in for a job, and you're like, what'd you do? Well, I was on the U.S. men's national team. Really? That was so cool. All of a sudden now you've got the job. But what do you get if that guy never watches it and thinks that's just lame? You come in 3 years from now and you say, what were you? I was on the U.S. men's national soccer team. Oh, all right. You get what I'm saying? That's the difference. That's the power of playing at Alabama or somewhere else. What'd you do in school? I played football at Alabama. Aha. Whoa. Let me see if I have a place. Yeah, I think you probably have the job.
Spotlight.
I don't understand what they did. I don't. But maybe it's because I don't understand soccer. Okay?
Maybe more will be revealed. Maybe it's a coaching thing.
Well, they said at halftime the coach was getting all over their case for their intensity.
Well, there it is. Okay. Well.
Yeah. And we go out there and, spurt and score again, tie it up, and then back down. And, we did put our really, really good guy in, and he tried really hard. He was a little bit off on a couple of his shots. But he needed to get spun back up because we got to have him next game.
Right.
And he hustled his backside off too, coming off injury. But just, I don't know. It was sad. I apologize for getting y'all to watch. Because it looked like old soccer, didn't it? It looked like what you thought soccer was.
Back and forth.
Oh my gosh, whenever,
Well, maybe something will happen.
Every 20 minutes
bedtime.
you're like, eh? Oh, they kicked it out. It just... I've got words for it, but you get in trouble for them.
I do like when they shoot with their head, though. That
is really cool. No, it's really cool.
Don't try this at home, kids, until you.
Yeah, and so we
practice with it.
spend all the time telling all the little football player kids they're going to get CTE.
Yes.
And then these guys,
Wow, man.
and that ball is blown up like hard as a rock.
Yeah, we used to use them for dodgeball, and they'll leave a mark.
They'll,
for
yeah.
sure.
They'll
You gotta
get
have
you.
a big callus on your head to do that. I know.
That's why some of them look like they have a concussion because they do have a concussion.
He's a little cross-eyed coming
Yeah,
off
he's
the
okay.
field,
He'll
but,
be all right. He's fine.
Sure.
I don't know which is worse, his knees or his brain. And they got to cut out the faking.
You're okay. Get back in.
You know,
right.
just
the
they got
flops.
the flopping and stuff. And is it really that bad of a foul if somebody steps on your foot? I mean, how do you decide if it's on purpose or not? You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
soccer.
it's not like a punch to the throat.
No, but I'm sure that does hurt. But for the love, they all lay on the ground and hold their calf. I'm like, is that like the universal thing? That's why they can't tell if you're really hurt or not. I had somebody explain it to me. You know what they said? Well, you could tell he's really hurt because the other player went over there and they started checking him. They had to wave somebody over. So that's how we know you're really hurt. So the other times you're laying on the ground, you're not really hurt. You're just hoping to get the card or the call. But if you wave people over, that means you're really hurt.
I'm not buying that.
But you can come in a minute, which is, the NFL does that too. Somebody's dying.
One play.
Yeah, and they go out and they come back in. I'm like, he couldn't walk a second ago, and now he's back to 4.40 speed.
It's miraculous.
We had to stop the game, and now he's miraculously well.
It's a miracle. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was before I go to the next scheduled topic, which is Al Gore. Let's go to. We got time for Soldier Boy?
Well, we've got about. We can
I don't want to make him wait
to
through a commercial. Let's go, Soldier Boy.
Okay.
Welcome to the program.
I'm used to waiting to commercial. You bandwagon fan. Hey,
I am a fair weather fan.
I'm gonna talk real.
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna talk my talking points real fast. Second talking point's even more deeper. First talking point is there was coaching that we lost the game last night because the four guys that had the yellow cards.
Yeah.
There are four of our five best players.
Yes.
You know what? I'm gonna play them.
You can't play him.
I don't care if you get another card.
Why?
I don't. No. I'm going to play them because I'm putting my best team out there to win. I'm out there to win.
Yeah, but if you put your four best players in, then your four best players are possibly out during the real elimination game.
When I go boxing, I can possibly get knocked out too, but that's not the point. The point is to go out there and to win. Am I right? Win.
Well, this was the philosophical coaching discussion we had yesterday.
I'm going to agree with it. I'm going to agree with the coach on this one, Soldier Boy.
I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. Wait. Let me ask you this. You're playing the Iron Bowl, okay? You're up 35-7 in the fourth quarter. You got to play in the SEC championship in a week or 2 weeks. Do you pull your starting quarterback out to make sure he doesn't get hurt for the next game?
Absolutely, because we're winning already.
All right. If you're going to play in the SEC championship no matter what, and you're losing, do you pull your starter out?
Meaningless game, except the Iron
meaningless game. Yeah. Well, it's not even the Iron Bowl. Mississippi State game.
No.
Okay.
Where's Nick?
Hey, let me
Nick
carry you over, Soldier Boy. I got to take a break. We will be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program. This is the place where you get full analysis of what possibly is going on. During the break, Sky and I figured out that it was entirely possible, because if you remember, Raconteur said yesterday about worrying about Turkey getting chippy and hurting some players because they're on the way home and it doesn't matter to them. It's like when you play that college football game and the other team doesn't have any postseason ability whatsoever. They're not going to a bowl game, and all of a sudden you start noticing guys start going for the knees, and you're like, wait a minute, why would you be trying to hurt somebody? Oh, because that's just the way some people are. So it's entirely possible that our coach was like, look, we're going to play our best, but don't get one of those guys in a position where they blow your knee out, where they just kick you in the knee. Because what does it matter if they get kicked out? They're going home. They're headed to Turkey tomorrow morning.
Right.
So, I mean, that's possible. But that's me being, I may be being too magnanimous. Let's go back to Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy, welcome back in, man. I appreciate you carrying over.
Oh, thank you for taking me over. Hey, main thing I went to call was I noticed that our District 3 council person, Marcy Johnson.
Yes.
Just like a typical Democrat that gets caught. She's doubling down.
What is her excuse? I mean, you can't.
Well, she claims she still lives in the district she represents.
She says she's got water bills and mail and things showing with her name on at that residency, but that's not what their department says. And then her attorney mentioned that she was not given written notice about her, being, she didn't show up for the last 3 council meetings, which is kind of speaks for itself. It's called nonverbal cues,
Right.
And she doesn't show up, and she's saying their lawyer is stating, quote unquote, that she wasn't given written notice, but the city attorney's saying, quote, it's in the bylaws that they don't have to.
Well, if you haven't made 3 council meetings, and how often are the council meetings? Every week? Every other week?
Every Tuesday.
Every 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Every Tuesday.
Tuesday, every Tuesday. Tuesday. So she hasn't made them in 3 weeks. Sounds like she's not too worried about. So is it? Let me ask you a question. This is just me asking.
I don't think they have to fire her for absence. I think they can vote her out.
No matter what.
No, I doubt that.
Yeah, the legislature used to could remove people for, that was elected by the people. I don't know what their rules are at the city council, but let me ask you this: if you haven't been to the last 3 council meetings, are you worried about being on the council, or are you worried about getting paid for being on the council?
Well, Council President Calhoun said in his statement that about her not living in the district she represents as part of the vote.
But you missed what I was asking.
Okay, go ahead.
She's making it sound like I want to be on the council.
Absolutely.
But hasn't been there for the last 3 meetings. So is it about being on the council and being at the meetings, or is it about being paid for being on the council? I want that check to keep coming to my house, whichever house I live in.
Financial. Yeah.
Just Scott, here's my question is.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to. Do people in a city council have to show their when they run for election or anything? They have to show their financial records. I
would think not.
I don't know if they have to do the economic reporting that the state people do or not. I do not know about the city council. The state offices have to do a statement of economic interest, but I don't know about city council people. Well, let me ask you this, Soldier Boy.
Military.
Didn't you say that there's rules about if you get a certain kind of loan from the federal government that you better be living in that house?
You have to reside in it. That's the law.
A military VA loan.
Yeah,
you must reside in the home that you purchased with a VA loan.
Yeah, you can't be using it to make money.
Well, you could, for example, say you bought it for your mother or father, okay? Or a family member. Okay. All right.
Okay.
And all you got to do is have your some stuff mailed to that residency, telephone bill going to that residency. You have to That's the way they prove physical occupancy. Even if that person doesn't physically reside there, just shows up once in a while, you know what I mean?
I got you.
But evidently, so the VA is very specific about it because they don't want you to go ahead and get a zero down, low interest loan and go ahead and just make bucks off of the taxpayers' money and rent it out.
Yeah.
That's the purpose.
That's what I would think. It's going to be interesting because
that's the whole purpose.
So the Democrats in Montgomery are going to have this fight about where the city council lady lives. I just want everybody to note that whatever judge is in Montgomery, when they rule on residency,
yes,
they might also be ruling on Tommy Tuberville's case.
Interesting. There is a big parallel there.
That's just going to be funny. Because you're going to get, Democrat Judge Joe in Montgomery, and he's like, it's very blurry on where your residency is in Alabama. It's hard to really tell. So if she says she lives there, she lives there. Oh, really? Okay, thanks.
If she takes him to court, it's going to be a municipal court and a municipal judge, okay?
Yeah.
Which is selected by the mayor, believe it or not. If there's a vacancy, then a municipal judge is. But with the VA, here's the touchy thing. If it's a VA loan, we're talking the feds.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Well, that'll be two separate things.
Municipal court.
That'll be two separate things. The feds will probably wait and see what the result is, and if they find out, hey, you're not living in that home.
Both things cannot be true.
That's what I'm asking. With our little bit of information we have, I don't think you can have both.
You can't. It's impossible.
And like we said yesterday, maybe somebody in her camp ought to be saying, like her attorney, hey,
you might want to take the lesser of two evils.
Check both of these here, maybe. Yeah. What else you got, Soldier Boy?
Do you think maybe because of the Tommy Tuberville connection, do you think their attorneys using that to threaten them?
I don't know.
If we go forward, we're going to bring this up.
And y'all are going to have to say so-and-so. I don't know.
It's just the Montgomery City Council.
But it's two different ones.
Yeah.
You're talking federal, and you're talking difference between municipal. Big difference. Okay. Here's the only thing I have a problem is, okay, first of all, there's only 8 council members now.
Okay.
Now, they can't get it. It's going to be hard to get a majority if they go 4-4, right?
Yeah, but then the mayor can cast the deciding vote.
Oh, God, that's a winner.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I can promise you this, all right? No matter if this city council member's on there or not, y'all still aren't getting a police force. All right.
Nope.
That's
Let
all
me
that
ask you the
matters.
next question. Here's my next question. Okay, here's my next question, Scott. Okay. What are the odds that somebody on that didn't know this way before what was going on and only suddenly got visible because it was at public?
Maybe so. Yep. I don't know. We got to take a break. Thanks, Soldier Boy. We'll be back.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
We are back, everybody. Let's get out to your phone call. Short break here at the top of the hour. Let's go to Chris. Chris, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you.
Hey, happy Friday. Hey, real quick, the issue with residency, it's your homestead exemption. I mean, I've gone through this with buying a home. You got to go file for it when you buy a house. You get your taxes lowered and all that. If Tommy Tupperville got a homestead exemption in Blue Mountain Beach, where he has a home down there, he's had it for years, then he's got problems.
Okay.
So
what if he has one in Alabama too? Because isn't the homestead exemption under Alabama law, or is that's under Alabama law?
No, a homestead exemption is nationwide.
Is it? Are you sure about that? I'm not 100% sure.
You can't have two homestead exemptions. You can't have two. Well, the homestead exemption, all it does, it says I'm a resident of this area, so therefore my taxes aren't as high.
Yes.
You get a homestead exemption. You get exempt from higher taxes. A good example is if you lived in Montgomery and you moved to Pike Road and you bought a house in Pike Road, and their taxes are higher, and you don't file for the homestead exemption, your taxes are going to be higher because you're not seen as a resident of that area. Yeah. Or you had a second home in Florida.
No, Chris, I agree with you completely on homestead exemption. I understand that. I've just never asked the question about, because I don't live that life to have another home in Florida. I just wonder, because I always thought homestead exemption was a state thing, and I would always be afraid to ask if I could have two.
You can't have. You'd have to ask a lawyer. It's probably a real estate attorney. You can't have dual homestead exemptions.
Right.
You cannot. It would be very difficult also to kind of set that up. But penalty is going to be massive if you got caught. So
well, hey, good example. The lady up there. Remember the lady up there and the attorney up there in up in New York?
Yes.
Remember her?
Yes.
Oh,
She
yes.
had a homestead exemption on a house she was renting.
Yes.
She didn't live there.
All right, I found your answer, Chris.
Okay.
So it is apparently state laws. That's why you can't have one in Pike Road and one in Gardendale. And there's a thing, state cross-checking. Many states share tax data and monitor the voter registrations and driver's license. Claiming two homesteads can trigger a reciprocal disqualification.
Yeah.
So if Alabama found out you were claiming homestead in Florida, and then they said, hey, they can't do that because they're claiming it in Alabama too, both states might disqualify you.
And
now,
you have no homestead.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And you have the penalties and the tax.
That gets even deeper too, because then that means like I could do dual homestead, but then I could file my taxes in Florida and have no state income tax. I mean, the fraud. I'm going to tell you, if you do it wrong, you did do that. The fraud is not only you're filing fraudulent records, right, or saying that but you're also, that's tax fraud.
Yeah.
That's a bunch of different frauds. I mean, the state could come after you big time. I mean,
I agree.
You don't realize how big of a deal that is. But the fact of the matter, if Tommy Tupperville, no matter if he lives in his mind, he lives in Auburn 2 weeks out of the year, if he has a homestead exemption in Auburn, Alabama, that's where he lives.
That's what I think too. That's what I would hold the whole thing on.
That's the way the law sees it.
Yeah.
And then this lady here, if she had a VA loan now, that's her primary home. If she could be in complete legal trouble if she says that's my homestead exemption and she's renting it out or doing something else.
Yes.
I mean, that's big time. I mean, you don't want to mess around with that because that's federal programs and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's what we said that we tried to warn her. We don't know anything about it. We don't know, so we're not alleging anything.
That's a lot worse than getting kicked off the city council.
Yeah, that'd be way worse than not being on the city council that you haven't shown up to in 3 or 4 weeks anyway.
Unreal. I mean,
it's Montgomery. Come on.
City of Montgomery is a basket case right now. I mean, it really is.
Totally is. No doubt about it.
I mean, it's I could shake my head. You go to like I've been in Tennessee and Georgia, and you go through some of these communities and how put together they are, and the roads are nice, and that's about money, right? But ultimately, now you got Zemansky, and I beat him up because he's the one saying, "Well, we need a occupational tax to pay for our roads and all this stuff," and we need more money, we need more revenue. For what? I don't know. For more,
violence prevention
circus,
programs, sir.
streets.
That's what we need. Yes.
It's just it's sad, man. It really is.
Outreach.
And, but
Chris,
the bottom line is this lady could be in deep trouble as far as I'm concerned. She's, fraudulently saying she's living one place and got a VA loan. I mean, I don't think that would fly, especially with her lender.
Right. No, I agree.
But
I don't know what they've got going on, but they need to be very, very careful with it. And it doesn't appear like they're being careful, Chris.
Well, they're not smart.
Far,
let's just be the lowest common denominator is a politician. Okay, I mean, it's just they're willing to do and say whatever they want. That's obvious, and they're so dumb that they'll say they live in one district and and represent another. I don't know. It's just we expect so well. This is the bottom line on this is that 27% voted in this last election.
Mm-hmm.
For mayor, I mean, that should tell you right there. I mean, they can get away with anything if only 27% care.
Right. That's right. Yeah, we kind of get what we asked for, don't we? Chris, I appreciate you, buddy. Happy Friday to you.
Do.
See you, bub. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back in, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. What happened, Scott? Did I do something wrong there? You hear me? Okay.
I thought I was hearing
Good
the
deal. Well, we've got a
intercom.
special section, a special, not episode, but segment that we have a lot of times on Fridays, on the Free for All Fridays. 1819 News has a department, I guess it is, an effort called the Fred and Rita Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. And how they explain it is, in the spirit of Nehemiah, the Skelton Center seeks to rebuild the walls of culture and good society while defending against the attacks of those who seek to corrupt the youth and degrade our civilization. So they publish these cultural pieces about life and social issues so that we can discuss the truth and the traditions of our Western Christian heritage. And one such writer who takes a part in that effort by 1819 News is Jeff Minnick. He's been on the program before. Jeff, welcome to the program. I hope you are doing well.
Thank you, Scott. I'm growing great. How about you?
No, I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little bummed out. I'm not a soccer fan, but I was a little bummed out by the performance last night. But hey, look on the bright side, Sky. You didn't know this, and Jeff. Germany lost to somebody they weren't supposed to lose to because apparently they weren't paying attention because they're going on to the second round as well. So
Maybe
I guess
it's a common thing in soccer.
yeah, apparently it is. You just throw those games that don't matter. But Jeff, I appreciate you being on. And let me tell you from the very, very start, I do appreciate the work you are doing over at the Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal and being a part of that, because I just don't think we as Americans that we're discussing and talking about the things that matter, that make our lives better, that make our families better, our communities better. We don't stop and think about the things we could listen to or the things we could watch that have good, positive messages and help raise good, godly, patriotic American kids. And two of your articles that you've had out recently, I really think actually do that. Give us an outlet and some advice on what we should do. So the first one I was looking at was the one about, and Sky will love this. He's a music guy and he's a Civil War guy. It says singing the songs of the Civil War for America's 250. So yeah, tell us about it. What's the point? What do we need to learn? What do we need to know and take away from it?
Okay. Well, as I say in the article, and people can reach that article if they go to 1819news.com. They can reach all those articles under culture.
Yes,
so
sir.
they'll find that there. But what I wanted to talk about first was when I was a kid. We were in Boonville, North Carolina at that time, and we were always running around playing Civil War. And my brother and I had two albums that were put out by a guy named Richard Bales, who loved American music and American history, and one was called The Union, one was called The Confederacy. We must have played those things, I don't know, 1,000 times, so we came away knowing a lot of the songs and still know some today. And but I just think you could almost teach a course in American history. The other article was on movies, and you could almost pick either one of those topics, movies and music, and teach a course on American history, if you think about it. I mean, Revolutionary War music of people going west, the big cities, the Civil War. And so I just think, and a lot of the songs from the Civil War we still know today, like, of course, Battle Cry of Freedom, Dixie. Then there's the ones like the Bonnie Blue Flag, which I think appeared either in Gods and Generals, the movie, or Gettysburg. And then, just things like Just Before the Battle, Mother, very touching tune. And another one was All Quiet Along the Potomac Tonight, about the death of a picket on the Potomac River. And so, but you can learn a ton of history from these two. And you can. The other great thing about using music, of course, is you get a feel for the period. You get a feeling for what the men were thinking about, what they were going through. And the same, I mean, let's face it, the same holds true for all of American wars. Like in World War I, you have popular music that's some of which we still listen to today. The Yanks Are Coming. That one always cracked me up because I would sometimes go into the dentist's office singing that, but he didn't appreciate it. But and then of course, World War II had its brand of songs, big band and stuff like that. Vietnam War, a lot of rock music, a lot of protest music.
Right.
About Vietnam, but it was still belonged to the soldiers. I mean, it was still what they wanted to hear. So I just think music is a wonderful way to look back at American history and sort of go, oh, so this is what they. I mean, it doesn't have to be the Civil War; it could be anything. You remember Sweet Betsy from Pike, or The Eyes of Texas Are Upon You, or any of these things.
Right.
Have a historical significance. So if you study this, if you listen to the song and then you read about the song, basically you're going to be learning American history. So
no, that's a great point. I know Sky will appreciate. Jeff has a line in the article about the music, Sky, quoting Robert E. Lee, saying, "I don't believe we can have an army without music."
Without the music, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then the fascinating thing too, of course, is Lincoln. Loved the song Dixie.
Yep.
So when you hear about him asking for Dixie at the end of the war, that was true. It was one of his favorite songs, if not his favorite.
It is unique in that depending on how you play it, if you play it fast or slow, it can express complete mournful destruction and sadness. And if you play it fast, it's joyous, it's jubilation. That's how good it is.
It's a powerful song.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
in
Jeff.
Fact,
here's an important question for us and our listeners.
Sure.
When you and your brother were playing the North versus the South, which side did you take? You don't have to tell me. Just tell me you swapped.
No. This is fun. This is pretty funny. I was on the South with my friend. I'm just going to name his first name, Dickie.
Okay.
And Doug was on the North with our friend Alan. And the irony of that is Alan's great grandfather, or whatever grade it was a colonel in the Civil War for a North Carolina regiment and died, I think, at Gettysburg. But we somehow just split up that way. Sometimes we'd be all on the same side. Sometimes we'd do the other one. And it's pretty funny about the Southern thing. This probably isn't true anymore, but about 30 years ago in Europe, believe it or not, they had reenactor groups for the Civil War. And they had so many people who wanted to be on the South side that you had to join a waiting list and be a Northern soldier till you were allowed to join the
Really?
You got to play on the B team.
I read that. I read a long article about it long ago.
Hey, that's pretty
fascinating. I don't know if it's still true, but
that's pretty good, Jeff. Pretty good.
So, anyway,
I've never heard that.
We just had a fascination with this. We drive up to visit relatives in. My dad and mom were both from Pennsylvania, but we moved to North Carolina. I grew up in the South from the time I was like 3 or 4 on, and and then lived there. I've lived there most of my life. But we'd drive up through the Shenandoah Valley. There was no Route 81 there, no interstate highway. And it was just so cool as a kid to drive through all these little Virginia towns and battlefields.
Right there with you,
see all this stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Skyline Drive. Blue Ridge Parkway, was that? I guess that was in service at that time.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, those were in service. But the one we were on the old Route 11. I think it even used to be called the Lee Jackson Highway, the Lee Highway. I think it still might be in Virginia. So, but there's just a lot of good memories from that as a kid. But then the songs, of course. As I say, I just encourage people to listen to them, listen to both, all of them, and they're just quite a spectrum of. You were talking about how they play Dixie. It's the same thing. You get these real exciting songs, and then the sad songs like Just Before the Battle, Mother, and all this stuff. So.
My favorite. I always thought eating goober peas was terribly underrated. It's a classic.
Peas, eating goober peas.
Yeah.
That's peanuts, right?
Good, how delicious. There's a line.
I always tear up when I hear that one, Scott. Yeah.
There's a line in there somewhere where they hear everybody's chewing goober peas and they think it's the Yankees attacking. Gunshots are going off.
All the
Didn't have time
snapping
to
and
cook
popping.
them, you see.
Hey, y'all going to send me down to the Peanut Depot or whatever it's called now. That is strong. All right, we're going to have to take a break in a second, but by the way, the historic Lee Highway in Virginia is U.S. Route 11.
Okay.
That runs all the way down into Alabama.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it goes to Tuscaloosa. I don't know where it goes after that. So that's the old.
I didn't know it went that far down. Wow. Yeah.
Says because the
Okay.
old trail system was eventually replaced by the modern numbered U.S. highway system, the route that connected these states was primarily absorbed by U.S. Route 11.
Okay. Clears that.
That's
That
pretty.
is God's
know.
country up in Virginia, that road, and as we mentioned, of the Shenandoah Valley.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gorgeous. Driving through there. Still is.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's why you have to fight the invaders if they're going to come to your hearths and firesides right there in the Shenandoah
Yeah,
Valley.
well,
Jeff, hold on, man. I want to ask you about that other article
Okay.
if you can. We got to take a quick break.
Sure.
We'll be
Yep.
right back with Jeff Minnick.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering
With us, he's one of the I don't know if we call y'all, Jeff, partners, contributors, or what, to the Fred and Rita Skelton Center for Cultural Renewal. But Jeff's got some really good articles you can find. Like he said earlier, if you go over to 1819 News, you can go to the culture section, and you will find some of his articles. We talked earlier about his saying, hey, look, during the 250th anniversary of the country, music plays a big part, and we discussed listening to music that was involving around the time of the Civil War for the Union and for the Confederacy. And then his other article that I found fascinating was 10 great, let's get the title right, 10 great movies for an American summer, Jeff. And I've only seen a couple of these movies.
Well, some of them I'm not surprised that you haven't seen. Like there was Johnny Tremaine was on there. I'm just giving examples.
Yeah.
Great Locomotive Chase. Ben and Me, which is really more of a kid's cartoon. These were made by Disney way back when, and they're still online. I think you can still find them. Though I know you can still find them online. But they were ones that I watched way back then. And then my editor, Annie Holmquist, also, some of those were her suggestions. But then, and I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Shenandoah. On the list of 10, that's one of my favorites, actually, with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, yeah. Trying to stay neutral. Yeah.
He tried to stay neutral in the Civil War, and he was a Southerner in the Shenandoah Valley, a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he does a great job of acting. And then one that I remembered to add to the list that I don't think too many people have even ever heard of, is a movie called How the West Was Won. And back in 1962, this was a huge movie. It was a huge blockbuster movie. I mean, it won Academy Awards. It got tons of awards. It had a huge it runs to almost 3 hours. That may be one reason. And when I look back at it, it had stars. It had John Wayne. It had Jimmy Stewart, Henry Fonda, Debbie Reynolds.
All in the same movie?
Well, in the same movie, except that they divide the movie into 5 different parts. So when they say How the West Was Won, it's not just like one episode. You go from the Ohio River Valley, where I can still remember Jimmy Stewart scenes, all the way out to the west when there's trains running and stuff. I think they have a train robbery, if I remember right. So there's all this, there's intervals, and it's hard to explain. It all blends into one. It follows a family. There's all in the same family.
Okay.
But I do know that when I watched it, the last time I saw it was probably 12 or 13, and it was. I just remember being great. We saw it in a theater, of course, and it was long, but some of it stuck with me, but a lot of it didn't. So I don't know what that says about the movie. I haven't seen it since then. Mm-hmm. So we have that in there. And then I wanted to include a couple of musicals, just because America is the birthplace of the musical, and so I put The Music Man. I don't know if you ever saw that. For Preston Sturges. No, that's not his name. Preston something is the star. It's just a great movie about America back around the turn of coming into the 20th century, like around 1900.
Yeah. And
then James Cagney in Yankee Doodle Dandy. Everybody should see that one. That's just it's about George Cohan, the famous American composer, who is also singer, dancer, actor. And James Cagney, a lot of young people probably don't know who he is, but he was so big in gangster movies.
He played the gangster.
So
see? These guys are kind of cheesy. It's the cops. Yeah. These guys.
He was really amazing
Terrific
as an actor, as a gangster. Yeah. But when he's in this movie, he plays Cohan, and and what's amazing is he grew up learning the tap dance, of all things, the guy who plays the gangster. So those tap dance routines in there where he's just going to town are his own.
That's his own stuff. That's crazy.
It's pretty crazy. But this James Cohan wrote things like Yankee Doodle Dandy, Your Grand Old Flag over there. He wrote the World War I song over there. And just to throw in one more plug for Cagney, he won Best Actor for that award back when the movie was made, 1942. It was released for World War II. And if you want to watch a great July 4th movie, see if you can watch Yankee Doodle Dandy. Yes, it's in black and white unless they've colorized it, but it's a great movie. Just really fun.
So from your list, Jeff, the two that I know, of course, this is the way it is when I'm talking to Sky every day. The two that I know are the two you didn't mention.
Okay, of course. Which are what?
Which are Davy
I knew
Crockett.
that would happen.
You knew it always happens because I'm odd. I'm a weirdo. Davy Crockett and Old Yeller.
Old Yeller.
Oh, Old Yeller.
And you pronounced it correctly.
I'm impressed that you watched Davy Crockett. That's pretty impressive.
You can still watch Davy Crockett on the Disney Channel, by the way, or the Disney streaming service. You can still get it. I'm going to check for some of these other ones to see if they're on there as well. But that's tough.
Well, the early ones the 2 or 3 first ones are done by Disney, but it's so funny to look back because I've only seen a couple of these like in the last 20 years, but when those Davy Crockett things came out, because there were some other things, Davy Crockett, when he met Mike Fink, The Riverman was another movie, and Bess Parker did such a great job playing him, but like the coonskin caps were everywhere.
Oh yeah. No, I've seen old pictures.
I mean, they were fabricated.
Yeah, the United States in the 50s, the late 50s. If you see pictures of little boys, somebody's got a coonskin cap on.
Huge fan.
Pretty fun. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Oh, he was so good in that, and I'm pretty sure he played Daniel Boone as well on TV, or I think it was the TV series. Maybe it was Disney's. I don't know.
Maybe so. I never heard of the one though. Davy Crockett and the River Pirates.
Yeah, there's some. I don't know if I have the right title, but it's. Oh yeah, it's in there. Yeah, it is in there. So, yeah, that's. I can remember vaguely watching that where he and Mike Fink at one point get into. I think that's Mike Fink. They get into a fight on something but like a scaffold and a walkway between 2 boats.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's about all I remember from that one. I haven't seen that one in a long time either.
Yeah, and those movies you can let your kids see. I remember watching. What was it? I know this is not on your list, but Swiss Family Robinson, which is another one of those Disney kind of movies. Movie. And yes, you think it's cheesy today, but they're just good. They're just good shows.
Wholesome family films.
Yeah, wholesome family films. Yeah,
and they weren't preaching some message or some alternative lifestyle or anything. It was just straightforward, good-natured fun.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, I do remember. Swiss Family Robinson was great. So,
yeah, everybody wanted that treehouse.
Yeah.
I know, it's true. That is true.
Jeff, I appreciate it, buddy. We're about to have to go to break again. Thank you so much for what you do, and I know we'll get to talk to you again soon. Just keep on turning out the stuff for the Shelton Center for Cultural Renewal, and we appreciate you, and happy Independence Day to you if we don't talk to you next week.
You too.
Yeah, watch those flank attacks when you're playing war, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, buddy. Good job. That was great.
We got to take a break. Back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. It is a Friday. Sky, that was good. I enjoyed that with Jeff.
He was terrific.
They do really good work over at that the Skelton Center. That whole effort of talking about, discussing, promoting. I mean, think about it. Over the next few days before the 250th anniversary of the country, get your kids, get your grandkids, watch a couple of these. Watch Old Yeller. How many of our kids have seen Old Yeller? Now, look, I get it. It's going to be Cry Fest City. Yeah. But how many of them have seen it? How many have watched Davy Crockett?
They don't know anything about it.
They have no idea.
It's been buried in the modern era.
Because you can't have heroes anymore.
You can't have moral and ethical lessons either.
Yeah. So, I mean, we would be doing the country a favor if we did some of that.
Absolutely.
How many people know that one of Abraham Lincoln's favorite songs is Dixie? I would imagine that is another thing that you cannot say on any program except this one.
Well, it's certainly a well-known historical fact, but do people know it?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
So if I'm like, if I'm whistling that, walking down the road, people, I can't believe him. I'm just like, hey, this is Abraham Lincoln's favorite song. The gears will rip off as the transmission blows out.
Yeah, their minds would just explode.
Oh. So if you were telling people what to because these were all old movies, I'm recommending The Patriot.
It's an excellent choice. Mel Gibson.
Yeah, Mel Gibson's The Patriot. And that doggone son of his just irritates me to death. I'm like, dude, just, you don't got to rush in. You know he's going to stab you. And then he dies. It is a sad, sad thing.
Yeah, you can't caution youth. They're just headstrong.
How about the outlaw Josie Wales? That's American?
You going to whistle Dixie or you going to pull in pistols?
Yeah.
I was just thinking, you channeled, that was subliminal, man. Wow. I'm getting a little worried now.
Is it the outlaw Josie Wales where he meets the Indian chief too? Is that the same movie where he says, where they end up? Yeah, that is that movie where he's talking to the Indian chief.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hard to sneak up on an engine. That's a
good movie
film.
No doubt about it. So that's two.
And it tells a hard truth, though. So a lot of people would be uncomfortable watching it, but they should.
Yeah, no, they absolutely should. What's the?
David wants to speak of patriotic films.
David's on topic. David, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong watching like Jeremiah Johnson or Paint Your Wagon or.
Yeah, what's the other one? Y'all need to tell me. Is Last of the Mohicans a good movie, or is it one of those movies that you're supposed to watch is just not good?
It's an excellent movie.
Is it?
That's like my wife's favorite movie.
Really? Okay. I've never seen Last of the Mohicans.
Great movie.
You know what else I've not seen? And you may not be surprised by this. I've never seen Gone with the Wind.
No way.
Really?
You don't have to turn in your
No.
Your
I have a
card,
special card, guy. I'm not watching it because the South loses. You watched it,
Well,
you Yankee sympathizer.
Let me give you a quick story on this, real quick.
I've upset
my
Scott,
dad,
David.
was
I'm
a
sorry.
World War II veteran. Okay, when he was a teenager, he got a job at the old Strand Theater in Montgomery. Okay, Dad had me late. He was born in 1925. Anyway, Gone with the Wind came out in 1939.
Okay,
and it premiered at the Strand in downtown Montgomery. My dad was like a 14-year-old usher. Very proud of the job. In the scene where the Yankee Marauder comes in and is coming upstairs, obviously with bad intentions for
Scarlett,
Miss Scarlett, and she surprisingly pulls out that big old 45 and pops him.
Yeah,
they had the crowd was so loud that after the first couple of showings, they just decided, all right, we're just going to have an intermission. Because they couldn't get back to the film because people wouldn't shut up cheering and clapping for her blowing that damn Yankee away.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Sorry about that, David. And Sky's getting emotional about it.
Yeah. You should see it, Sky.
Perfect segue into my favorite Western of all time is They Died with Their Boots On, 1941. Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland.
Wow.
I've never seen
Annie
that.
McDaniel.
I'm writing it down.
Wow. From Gone with, Mammy.
Yeah, sure.
They
he
died
plays
with
a
their boots
great
on.
Character. They died with their boots on. It's actually about George Armstrong Custer.
Really?
And his going through the Civil War and then fighting the Indians out west.
Was he a good guy? He was not a
Excellent
good
movie.
guy, was he?
Errol Flynn?
No.
Errol Flynn was great.
Custer.
Well, there are positives and negatives about him, just like any
That means no.
historical.
A lot of people think he got what he deserved, that little big
my
horn.
goodness gracious.
Yeah, he was arrogant, that's for sure.
He was making
but,
a career
lot of
on the
great
back of
ones
dead
are.
Indian women and children. So,
Wow.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, David.
So-
A country, a Union Army that supposedly fought a war to free the black man and then turned that army west to exterminate the red man. I never could jive that up in my mind. I just can't. It doesn't make sense, man. I don't know.
Isn't it amazing how things like that happen?
It is. It's incredible. It's almost like these things can't be true.
And Errol Flynn in real life was kind of a freak.
Was he
I've heard
really?
that.
He was known for being pretty wild. Yeah.
Oh, was he?
Even by Hollywood standards today, he would have been
He
considered
was
pretty
very
wild.
flamboyant, let's say.
Sometimes he shot his arrows backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and he loved the Bolivian marching powder, from what I hear.
Bolivian marching powder. I've never heard that.
Yeah,
That's funny, David.
he's quite a character.
Yeah, he was known to sprinkle it on a certain part of his body.
No. Holy mackerel. How do all these people end up being big stars in Hollywood?
It's
Don't
Hollywood.
answer it. Don't answer it.
Right. You don't want to know that.
Yeah.
Babylon.
I don't know, but the list is long and distinguished.
It seems to be pretty common, doesn't it? David, I appreciate you, buddy. God bless you.
Good call. Thanks,
care.
David.
Thank you. That's
That's
good
right.
stuff. Yeah, Errol Flynn. Shocking autopsy report. What is that? That's YouTube. So what do you say after the Patriot and after what's the other one? Outlaw Josie Wales?
Oh yeah, that's you. Man,
What else
that's
do you
top
have
10.
to see around July the 4th?
Well, I'm partial to Flags of Our Fathers.
Flags of Our Fathers.
Yeah, it's a relatively recent film. It's about Iwo Jima.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I had to see that, and no matter what, my dad, sir, 5th Marine Division. and
Was
he
it Iwo Jima?
Yes, sir.
That's
And,
Errol Flynn again, Sky.
Yeah, yeah. But it's
You
it's
said
worthy-
flags.
Flags of Our
Okay,
Fathers.
okay, all right. I was
Yes.
making sure because there's two different.
Right. But I would recommend that if you want to see what people have had to do, brave men have done to keep this country.
For the country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to Papa B. Papa
Give you-
B,
give you
welcome.
a whole bit of gratitude. Yeah,
Papa B,
sorry.
welcome to the country. To the country. To the show.
Yeah, that
To
too.
the show, yeah.
Davy Crockett.
King of the Wild Frontier. All those old shows were great, man. I tell you. So, but you know, our country, our history, our culture in this country has been under assault for decades now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, restoration of all of that needs to happen yesterday, several years ago, actually. So I'm glad to see it. I would like to just address one thing, though. You know, I had complaints about me talking so long. But, you know... in
That
my
was not a
defense-
complaint.
Who said that?
Not
Oh, you
y'all,
mean
but
somebody else
just among
complaining?
callers.
No, it's just everybody believes that they were only on for 22 seconds.
Yeah, right. I mean, but in my defense, and you can attest to the fact that generally I'm very concise and get my thoughts out relatively easily within about 2-3 minutes.
You are a good caller,
So-
Papa B.
I'm a good caller.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, to paraphrase Donald Trump regarding their comments, I'm right and you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You're a
Well,
big,
your time's
beautiful-
up, Papa B. Talk to you
Yeah,
next
sorry.
time.
Ah.
Actually,
Right.
we're all closing in.
But y'all are closing for the section?
Yeah, we're about to have a commercial.
Yeah, got to pay the
Well,
bills.
why don't you hold me over?
Well, we could. Yeah, I mean that would work. Let's do that. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering.
We're back, everybody. Let's get right back out to Papa B. Papa B, welcome back to the program. We'll give you the last word.
All right. So, you know, we had two rulings from the Supreme Court about immigration. First of all, temporary status. You know, they decided it was actually temporary.
Yeah,
And
that was the
people that were
Haitian
here,
thing, right?
Haitian and Syrian and others.
Okay.
You know, it's actually temporary means temporary. And the other one is that if you're not here, you're actually not here.
Now, what is that? What is that
It's
one?
country. That was that people on the border of Mexico that were in Mexico were, you know, they were saying, well, they're actually in the country. So they, you know, they get rights that, you know, people that are actually, you know, on the soil of the American soil. So, you know, the Supreme Court said, no, if you're not here, you're actually not here.
Right.
And you can predictably, you know, the Democrats are having a meltdown over all of this kind of stuff, you know. And a few weeks ago, Joy Reid, our favorite, she was, you know, complaining about how all of this was stopping the blackening of America. I mean, none of this was racial. None of it was racially motivated. None of the decisions. The Supreme Court made a point to say, you know, all of the complaints that the left was making, the plaintiffs were making about it being racial. It's not racial. It's the way this is law. But, you know, I didn't know we needed to be blackened. I mean, what? Am I going to have to start?
Well, you know what's funny?
Designer tennis shoes and,
Papa B, here's what's funny about Joy Reid and a bunch of these folks.
Right.
In the same breath that Joy Reid will say that, which is clearly a racist term, okay? That's, I mean, she's fully for one side, and the rest can you know, go to heck as far as she cares. She will say that and then turn right around if somebody says something about the Great Replacement. Mm-hmm. And she will say that is not true. That is completely a fallacy. And then turn around and say, I mean, like Sky said twice today, both things can't be true.
Right.
So
yeah, that's true.
Find it fascinating.
I mean, what am I going to have to start buying expensive designer tennis shoes and filling out my brackets? I don't want to be blackened.
I just want to be America. And here's my thing, Papa B. Why do we not have, because I hear all this stuff all the time, and I got to let you go in a second, about how we're the richest nation in the world. We should be doing all these things for everybody and their brother and everything. Mm-hmm. If indeed that is the case, why do we not have the cleanest, nicest, safest streets, cities? Why is everything not as perfect as it can possibly be? But no, we have to live in a country where we give half of our money, 5 times more than what God requires of us, to the government for them to give it to other people, whether it's the super wealthy, which they're given special deals, or their government contractor buddies, or the quote unquote poor, and we still have places that you and I can't go. We have places that you and I won't go. And I don't understand.
You better not go.
No. If you want to come back and see your family again, you better not go there. I don't understand it, Papa B, but thank you so much.
All right, bud. Y'all have a good one.
You have a good Friday and a good weekend. I wonder if there's anything to take from that the Supreme Court hasn't given us a birthright citizenship ruling yet, and it may come out today. I don't know. If they were going to rule for birthright citizenship, would they do that before July the 4th? Because they know that the people on the right are going to celebrate the 4th, and it's just, you know, it's kind of blow over. Or would they hold it till after the 4th because they know the left is going to act like a bunch of fools and not mess up the 250th anniversary?
That is a tough call. I'm going to say before.
You think they would go with before if they were going
just before, like on Thursday
of next week?
Or on Wednesday, excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Midweek.
I don't know. I mean, it's still sitting out there. What I'm afraid of is they give us a couple of these, like temporary protected status as a win and a couple of things like that, and then come back with the punch of, well, no, we're going to let everybody who happened to be dropped here make them a citizen. I think there's a chance that they're giving us a little now so they can not give us birthright citizenship.
Yeah.
Even though the Constitution is abundantly clear. Clear.
It's clear, but the Supreme Court, like you said earlier, likes to give a little here and give a little there, so they're not accused of
being partisan.
Yes. Lord.
Well, they need to grow a pair because the left is coming for them if they get back in charge. So save the country now.
Now,
SCOTUS.
Still can.
Yes, absolutely.
Can.
Who do we have? Who only needs a minute? Anybody?
Let's try Freebird. He's got a couple of patriotic movies.
Oh, yeah, he can get them fast. Freebird, welcome to the program.
Good morning. I enjoy your program.
Thanks, sir.
My two favorite patriotic movies is the first one would be Robert Mitchum and the story of G.I. Joe.
Okay.
It's a great movie. Every time I see it, I'm not ashamed to tell you, Oscar, I cry.
Oh man.
Wow. I'm writing it down right now.
Story of G.I. Joe. Okay.
The story of G.I. Joe starring Robert Mitchum.
Right,
and of course, you can't. And the other one I love is To Hell and Back.
Oh.
Starring all.
Oh man.
That's Normandy, I believe. Is it correct?
Right. That's
yes.
correct.
Yeah.
It's a great patriotic movie, and I tell you what.
Now, Scott, you don't know Audie Murphy, or do you?
I know the story of Audie Murphy. I've just never seen the movie.
And became a war hero, became an actor.
Yeah, remember we talked about him the other day when we were saying who gets to claim they're a hero and not, etc. Freebird, that's good stuff, man. I appreciate you, buddy. We got to take a break, though.
You have a good day.
Hey,
Thanks,
you too.
sir.
Thank you so much. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Thank you for listening to the show. We got lots of stuff to do. And let's get out to Red Top. Red Top wants to weigh in on the patriotic music. He and Sky will probably have a fun conversation. Welcome back in.
Yes, I'm going to celebrate some patriotic music that it doesn't involve songs inspiring people to kill people.
Ah, I got you.
You know, I get all the patriotic stuff and all that. That's wonderful, and it's certainly been an inspiration for armies to kill people over the years. But I'd like to take a more peaceful approach. Great Americana movie, The Music Man, with Robert Preston.
Okay.
Great.
The Music Man. Is that one of them that was on the list? Is that?
I think it definitely was. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, Oklahoma. The opening of Oklahoma is stunning. That first few lines is, I do believe Oklahoma is Rodgers and Hammerstein,
yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Stunned everybody the way it opened, and what set the pace to make it a great hit forever. So that's another great one. And it's too bad you weren't in Montgomery back in the 50s and the early 60s, because Sky Mosley and I got to see all these movies at the Paramount Theater in 70 millimeter, like Gone with the Wind. Everything we saw in 70 millimeter, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sky.
The Empire, the Charles.
Wow.
Well, no, the Paramount was the only one that had a 70 millimeter screen.
Yeah, that was the premier theater in Montgomery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was. And, guys, what was incredible was Saturday matinee. Okay, Paramount Theater holds 1,200 people. I know because I used to be an usher there. And everybody in the 50s would drop their kids off there. And, our parents dropped us off in the 50s, and they said, see you later.
Yep.
It's like in the morning after we ate breakfast, you went out the screen door, and they said, we'll see you at lunchtime. They just see you at lunchtime. We don't want to know what the hell you're doing the rest of the morning.
That was it.
Right.
So they would drop us off, and there would be like 1,000 kids in there for that Saturday morning matinee. And you talk about chaos. in pandemonium. It was wonderful.
But it was good, clean fun. There were no riots and no fights.
Yeah, we didn't know how to do all that stuff in there. You know, it took civil rights era to make all those people come out. Now, one Supreme Court decision I'm extremely upset about is their siding with Bayer, which we know as Bayer, the aspirin company, which Bayer is German. That's how you say it, really. Bayer bought out Monsanto and now own glyphosate, Roundup. And Supreme Court sided with glyphosate. That's a tragedy. That means it's going to be in our food the rest of our lives. Yeah. And there ain't nothing anybody can do about it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, think about it, though. Now, look, I don't mean this in a, well, I kind of do. How many lawyers do you remember, did you know were really good in science back when y'all were in school?
Oh, a whole lot, because we had all kinds of environmental issues with radiation. We had the Bhopal incident in Bhopal, India. I do believe that was Union Carbide. We already had tremendous amounts of environmental issues, not to mention all the radiation that Sky and I absorb because of 800 above-ground nuclear tests in the United States. So we've been a lot of suing and environmental situations going on since I was born.
Yeah.
So that's not old news to us. Now, and second of all, I hadn't heard the damn decision on transgender athletes. Have you guys?
I don't think that one's out yet either.
Why not? That should be the easiest one. It appears this is very hard for them to figure out why not. If they come out anything other than,
well, don't forget though, they're having to. Some of these are more like express decisions. It appears that the SCOTUS is trying to, as much as they can, because they just bind themselves in their own little rules, their own little civility. But it looks like they're trying to deal with some of these problems with the lower courts jumping in and saying, "Oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, the Trump administration, you can't do that. You can't do that." So they're it looks like they're dealing with some of those things, like the temporary protected status for the Haitians and others. They're kind of trying to pass along the message to the lower courts, hey, y'all got to cut this stuff out. So I would imagine birthright citizenship, the transgender thing will be later in the year. I don't know. I agree with you. It should be easy, but don't forget, they have to write a whole bunch of junk where you and I would say, this is easy. Here's a paragraph. How dumb do you got to be to think men ought to play in women's sports? That's our decision. That's what we would do, but they've got to write a bunch of mumbo jumbo to make it sound like they had to think about it.
Well, the impression I get, the cases they solve last is the hardest ones I have figuring out, and this is not encouraging.
Historically, they have kind of done it that way, but the way the environment is right now, it seems as if they're trying to get the lower courts to just stop saying everything is wrong just because you don't like it, Judge. Give us some real reasons. Yeah.
Well, speaking of environment, thanks to them, we ain't got no damn environment anymore.
I don't disagree with you.
Great job, Bubba's.
Thanks, Red Top.
Roll Tide, go Trump.
Yeah, I was trying to make the point. I don't think Red Top heard me, guys, that, look, there's no way that Supreme Court justices or almost any judge or regular people can be experts on almost everything. So when they're ruling on things like glyphosate, you got to, look, the courts have ruled that things that aren't that bad for you were terrible and going to kill everybody, and, you win $500 million. And then they'll turn right around in something that'll poison you instantaneously. They're like, that's all right. Because they're ruling on all these little legal things, they're not really making a scientific decision. Does that make sense?
Yes, they're not scientific experts.
And even if they're trying to, then they might be ignoring the law. So it is just a mess. And I think you can lay the glyphosate things firmly at the feet of Donald Trump, who did an executive order to say glyphosate is a national security resource and we need to be able to keep using it no matter what, even though there's plenty of evidence that we're getting a good dose of it when we eat a lot of American foods. Well, it didn't kill you immediately, so it must not be too bad for you.
You're not dead yet.
Right.
It has a lot to do. You know this is true. Let's see. For instance, they took red dye out of lipstick back in the 60s,
right?
Because of all the detrimental effects. It remained in children's cereal
until what? Week before last?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's just brand new, right? Here's the thing about glyphosate. Okay, if you die in the woods and no animal eats you because you're full of seed oils, no grass will grow on you either, because Roundup will kill the grass.
Well, you might be toxic. Yeah.
No corn will grow because you're Roundup ready.
Yeah.
or the corn will grow and the weeds won't. I don't know which one it is, but
nothing else.
We're preserving ourselves ahead of time. That's for doggone sure.
Well, Monsanto's, they're a big player, and
they kind of get their way.
They kind of do. I always have.
Again,
we'll see. I don't have much hope for that decision, by the way.
Which one? The birthright citizenship?
No, the
glyphosate. The transgender thing?
That's the one.
Yeah.
I've got a bad feeling about
Gorsuch has had a history of leaning towards the liggity bigot crowd. I don't know if he has a family member that's involved in that cult.
I just think we're going to get some kind of a slough off on this somehow.
Yeah. Well, maybe surely they wouldn't do that. I just don't understand it. I mean, it's basically saying if you're mentally ill, you just get to do what you want in this country, which is kind of where we are. I mean, we do that in the schools.
And it's a common sense slam dunk, which concerns me as well. I just have this strange feeling.
I'm just telling people, look, always remember that the Supreme Court is political, and they do political as far as paying attention and trying to keep it somewhat smooth. That's what you got to worry about.
Yeah, whatever the political climate is, keep it in the middle.
And the left doesn't do that much, but the right is always like, hey, we can't have people burning down the cities. So the conservatives on the court will rule against the Constitution and rule against history and the rule of law to try to keep things tamped down. And when you get a couple of big wins, you need to expect them to do something. They may not just come out and say they'll do one of these, well, you didn't have standing, or there was a procedural thing. The Trump administration didn't, dot all their I's, and they needed to ask the department of this question, and therefore we put it back down to the lower court. And they'll kick the can down the road. That's the kind of junk they do. So anyway, just prepare yourself. We'll be back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. I just saw on the interwebs where El Salvador has sent their second or third plane of official aid workers to Venezuela.
For the earthquake relief.
Yeah.
Okay.
El Salvador's kind of, what do they call it? Hitting, wrestling, batting. How do you do it above your weight? Wrestling?
You're punching above your weight.
Punching above your weight, like boxing. They're definitely punching above their weight. But Bukele's got a country down there that's getting his stuff together. And so now they have the ability to go help others. Get your house in order, and then you can go help others.
That's pretty good.
It's a good motto. So they're doing their thing. Let's go out to Roque on Tour. Is that right, Sky?
That's correct. He's
Roque on
French,
Tour.
you know?
I've apologized, Roque on Tour. I don't know if you listened to the whole entire show, but I feel bad.
Did, Scott.
He did listen.
Yes, that's how you do it, everybody. He's listened to the whole show. He was late, and he went back and checked the podcast.
And he knows how much I've apologized.
I'm tearing up, man. You know,
to the thousands of people. Yes, Roque on Tour, we appreciate you, and I'm saddened how many people I got to watch that pitiful performance last night. Did we lose him?
I set him up like that.
Okay.
Go ahead, man.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. You and Scott deserve to have your salaries doubled, and you need a golden microphone. You were all over it this morning.
Thank you.
Wow. I take everything I said about you back, man. That's it. Okay.
You can flip the Winnie to me in Denver. So I completely agree with your assessment. I'm up there on the ledge with you, but I'm going to give you a parachute and we'll jump together.
All right, let's do it. Do it. I need to feel better for the weekend.
Okay, I'll try to be succinct. I don't know if I can. There's 2 or 3 ways to look at it. One is the straightforward way. Hey, it was a throwaway game. We put players in, give them some experience, let them say they played in the World Cup. Rest our starters, save the guys that we don't need to lose.
Okay.
To your point about not getting a yellow card and getting physical, even if those guys had gotten a yellow card, they're still eligible. If they'd gotten a straight red or 2 yellow cards, they would not have been eligible in the next match. So I was disappointed in the physicality of play. They didn't mix it up enough.
Yeah.
The only thing that I can come up with is you got to remember, all of these guys are millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Pulisic, Captain America, probably makes $24, $27 million a year between salary and endorsements.
Okay. Now, he played pretty hard, though.
He did. And he mixed it up a little bit, too. You know, guys got physical with him, and he pushed him back and said, come on, let's bring it.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple of times. And then you go to the most, I call him Mr. Irrelevant, the third-string goalkeeper who will never see a match. He's still making $500,000 a year with Chicago Fire.
Okay.
And those players also have a responsibility to those professional clubs. You go out, you get mixed up, you get injured, and they're going, hey, maybe we don't need you, we cut you, and we don't pay you.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, I don't know if that was in the back of the head. There's another deep, dark aspect to this. Nepotism has run rampant in U.S. soccer for years and years and years.
Yep.
It's probably the reason we got Pochettino, for those of you not familiar with U.S. soccer. Just a quick overview. The last coach, Greg Berhalter, it became very controversial when he wasn't starting Gio Reyna, who was the son of Claudio Reyna, a former U.S. soccer player.
Okay.
It got very testy. He got called on an open mic in a meeting saying that he had a guy that was having trouble, causing trouble, was going to have to send him home. Kid's mom found out about it and then reported the coach for domestic violence charges that he committed against his wife back when they were in college 25 years prior. How's that for some drama?
That's pretty bad.
Both those kids, Gio Reyna, both those kids were on the field last night, Gio Reyna and Berhalter.
Okay.
Berhalter played his rear end off. He was getting beat up, and he just kept playing D.
Yeah, that kid looks like he's got something to prove. He gets after it.
Yeah, and that's why he's coming off the bench.
Okay. Yeah, he's like our 12th man.
They proved. Yeah, a lot of those other guys, they proved why they're on the bench. Him way up.
I think that's fair.
Fans have been like,
Yeah, fans have been raging. Why is Tim Weah not playing? Well, you saw it last night. He had more offside calls than the U.S. has had in 3 matches combined, every other player.
Right.
Some of the other guys on defense, they were playing soft. They kept giving ground, and Turkey kept scoring.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was an overall horrible performance.
Yeah,
Now,
well, maybe it's one of those things where the head coach is like, look, okay, fine, I got a throwaway game. I'm going to have to hear all these people saying, hey, why isn't Scott playing? Throw Scott in there, and everybody will shut up.
And any coach of an AAU team or Nick Saban playing University of South Florida trying to determine a quarterback, and everybody's like, why isn't this guy starting? Why isn't this guy starting? So he throws all 3 of them in, and you shut them up.
Yep.
There could have been a little bit of that going on.
Yep. I'm going to hope so, because I think that coaches, and he was getting on their case for not being aggressive enough, and they still,
Well, that's why he was the answer that U.S. Soccer needed, because he's blue collar. He's like, I don't care who your daddy is. I don't care what you've done before. Yeah. Go out there and earn it, you get a spot. You don't earn it, you sit on the bench.
And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm going back to Argentina after this is over. Hey, let me tell you something you may not know, Rocantour. I would argue that a bunch of national teams, not all of them, because I think hockey does a pretty good job, but that whole nepotism, this is our friend from 20 years ago, we're not going to change anything, that's across, I know of at least one more national team that historically has done the exact same kind of stuff. Just mired in who is who and have some success but not be as good as they possibly could be. So I'm excited to have the Gladiator as our coach.
Oh, absolutely. Now here's the parachute so we can jump together.
Okay.
That was our B-string, worst lineup, no chemistry, working together team that we could put on the field, and we still tied a team that's probably in the top 40 in the world.
That's fair. How do we tie, losing 3-2?
Well, I'm not going to count the third goal.
That was kind of a – no, I agree with you. I agree with you completely. So, all right, I'm going to feel better about it.
Yeah, and two, this is the third point. Bosnia-Herzegovina, who we have confirmed will be playing in the next round, plays just like Turkey. So you had an entire match to have your primary starters sitting on the bench with all their tactical coaches and the head coach, watching maneuvers, watching strategy, watching tactics, going, this is exactly how they're going to play you. This is how you're going to need to counter that. And then they got 15 minutes to go out and play against it when he started putting those substitutes in. So half the team kind of got to experience a little bit in practice.
Coach may know what he's doing.
Maybe, yeah. Well,
Coach is 4D chess, man. There's the reason he's one of the top coaches in the world.
Fair enough. We can just get Nick Saban out there chewing some of those B-team guys' butts. They'd play a lot better.
Straighten him out. Yeah.
Thanks, Rocantour.
Y'all have a good one.
Hey,
Thanks,
you too. I feel better about it.
I do too. That's why we keep him on.
Yeah. Make me feel better for the weekend. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovery.
Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Hey, don't forget Brian Dawson's podcast, 1819 News, the podcast. You can find it over at YouTube. If you are watching or listening to this show streaming over at YouTube, it's a little quick jump over to 1819 News, the podcast. This week's topic had some stuff about the Pakistani rape gangs, is what they're called, in some of the European countries. You saw part of it, Sky?
I sure did. It's powerful. It's strong, and it's kind of hard to comprehend, but Brian does a good job.
How bad these things are, and we just are unaware of a lot of it. So Brian's doing a good job over there. So go check out the 1819 News, the podcast. We've got two big stories that are arguably this is why America is so great. That two of the biggest stories. Iran's kind of faded to the side a little bit. And soccer's kind of come up a little till last night. Then Ukraine's trying to make a little. I mean, we look, if they have peace in Ukraine, I mean, what's the military-industrial complex going to do? So they got to keep that joker going. So they're kind of floating that out. But the two big things right now, Sky, and we're going to get to the phones, and we'll go to these. The pastor getting in the fight in Louisiana. And whether or not algae is taking over the reflecting pool in Washington, D.C. Nothing else matters. We live in such a great country.
This is what we are
that's what we're really concerned about. And you know what?
But they are good stories.
But you know what I think it is? Is that they're small enough stories where we normal people can have a response. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going on with migration in Europe and replacement and Pakistani rape gangs and Iran, that's all got a lot of facets to it. It's kind of complicated, but these little things like, hey, the water's turning green, who can we blame? That, man, we have all kind of comments on that. That's an American story we can grasp and dig our teeth into. Pastor beating up a guy, we have some thoughts on that.
We definitely do. Yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out before we get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Clark before we move to those. Clark, welcome to the program. Happy Friday to you.
Happy Friday to you, Scott.
Thank you, Clark.
Earlier in the show, you brought up what is probably now the second best dog movie ever made, Old Yeller.
Okay. What's the first best?
Red Dog.
Red Dog?
Red Dog.
Not Red Dawn.
If you have not
Red Dog.
Red Dog. I'm sorry?
I said not Red Dawn, Red Dog.
Well, now, Red Dawn, the original, was one of the greatest movies ever made. John Millis, genius.
That's true.
But Red Dog, it's a tearjerker, Scott. Make sure ain't none of the kids around or nothing when you watch it, you know.
More than Old Yeller.
It is. And I will say this. If you ever read the book, Old Yeller, do not have it on a table where you are over the book.
Because you're going to cry into it. What about where the red fern grows?
You're going to have tears dropping all over the page there. When Travis said, that's when I knew I had to shoot my big yellow dog.
Yeah.
But no, Red Dog, if you have not seen that movie, go watch that movie.
All right. Hey, now let me ask you where the red fern grows. Did they ever make a movie of that, or we just had to read the book in school?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. And that's a great book and a great movie, too.
Yeah, that's sad. Was that Little Ann and Old Dan?
Yeah, Old Dan and Little Ann.
Yep.
You know, if we could live in a time where my biggest concern was my dog getting hit by a railroad train.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I used to coon hunt, and you can't turn out nowhere where, like, the train is your biggest concern.
Fair enough.
Keep doing it. You probably got somebody with something else. We'll talk about Red Dog.
I'm gonna look up Red Dog. I've got a whole list of movies I've got to look at. So Red Dog is now added to the list. I've never even heard of that. Sky, you're my pop culture guy. Have you heard of Red Dog?
Red Dog was the original, the first Allman Brothers Band roadie. Red Dog.
Really?
He's legendary. Yeah, he even gets a mention in Almost Famous, and he's on. Anyway,
I thought
that's the only Red Dog I know.
Only Red Dog I knew was Clifford.
Yeah, big Red Dog.
He was a big Red Dog. Maybe that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Red Dog. Here it is. He looks like he's a dog. He's red. Let's see. Okay, all right. I don't know when this movie is.
Never heard of it.
It is a 2011 Australian comedy drama family film.
Comedy drama. Okay.
Yeah, and it's Australian. Let's see who the actors and actresses. Well, there's a guy and a girl. The girl, and looks like they're on an old Honda motorcycle. It may be all right. Let's go to your phone calls. Who do we got? Okay.
Rooster wants to check.
He's going to check in on something. Rooster, welcome to the program.
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Rooster. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. I just want to find out, did you get that book I sent you?
I just got it yesterday or the day before. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but I did open it. But when I first got it, I was like, man, I hope this is not Anthrax, because you had it packaged up pretty tight.
Well, I don't trust them. I don't trust the mail people anymore.
Yeah, no, I figured that out after I saw it, but I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. But when at first I was like, this is, nobody wants to see. But I've got it, and I'm actually looking forward to looking at it. And I have heard a couple of the other titles that you asked about. One of them I have read, one of them I have not. So, but I did get it, Rooster. So thank you very much. Thank you for that. I appreciate you.
Well, which one did you read?
I read the one by, I think you mentioned the Martin Luther book. I read that one. I've not read the other one that you mentioned, so let's not. We'll wait till we get there.
Yeah, the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion?
Yeah, I might have to. I don't know where I can find that one exactly, but I appreciate you, Rooster. Thank you.
It probably won't be at Books A Million.
Do what?
It's in the letter I wrote to you.
Oh yeah, no, the title. I've got the title. I've just not read. I've not read the book.
No, I mean how to get the book.
Oh no, I saw the instructions. I did. I just hadn't had a chance to get to it, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
All right, I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I come to a conclusion.
Yeah, I don't think you'll find that at the local bookstore.
No, I don't think you can ask for it a lot of places either. But oh no, I forgot the other one. The other one was written by Henry Ford. I have not found that one yet either. So let's go to Charles I of Doughty. If I don't get to the two main stories here in America,
we got to do the preacher.
I'm going to be upset. Charles I of Doughty, welcome to the program.
Hey, Scott. Well, the big everything you've been talking about, a conglomeration from the beginning to talking about judges, is going to be Monday.
Okay.
Because the residency hearing will be heard by Judge Brooke Reed born and raised in Bullock County and appointed by Kay Ivey, the Democrat judge, a circuit judge in Montgomery. And Wes Allen and Tuberville's people have put forth that the Constitution doesn't say this should be handled at this time. And Section 5, Article 117, Section 5, Article 117 is what they're talking about. And, Scott, you know how they say that wording gets changed?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's very clear that you do it now, after the nomination, but before the election. Got me? After the Republican or Democrat has nominated your candidate.
Okay.
And if they change that wording, which means beforehand, that wording is also the exact wording for paying your property taxes, your state income taxes, and your students going into college from other states. That means if they take that to the Supreme Court and they change that exact Alabama constitutional wording, that all those things can be fought by lawyers in court to say, hey, the Supreme Court said you didn't have to, and this is the exact same wording. And I checked, it's the exact same wording, and nothing has ever changed to mean beforehand for every other state that ever had it in question. And any interstate commerce that we do that means beforehand will then be questioned. You get what I'm saying?
So I'm looking at Section 117. The governor.
And it says before.
Hold on. The governor and lieutenant governor must be at least 30 with 10 years of U.S. citizenship and 7 years of state residency before the election. Okay, I get that.
Before the election.
All right, so what is the last minute before the election?
Well, if you look into the other wording that it tells you about it that talks about elections.
No, I'm not worried about I'm not worried about the statute. I'm worried about what it says in Section 117 of Article 5. The requirement to be governor says that you have to be 7 years in the state before the election, which to me means midnight before the election. We got to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Just a few more seconds. So Charles I to do, and he's still with me. I don't guess I'm going to get to the 2 top stories in America, but I want you to be able to finish off your thoughts. The reason I think that, Charles I, is because when I ran for the Senate the first time and lost, it wasn't very long into the campaign that I found out that to be a state senator in Alabama, you had to be 25. I was 24. Mm-hmm. But I still ran in the Republican primary, lost, and what I was told was do not worry about it because you will turn 25 2 weeks before Election Day in November, and therefore it meets all the criteria.
Well, the difference is right here. Okay, I'm going to give you the difference. Okay, and you base it on him being that as far as November the start at midnight. Okay.
Okay.
This is where you look this up. Okay.
Okay.
It's Alabama Code 66590 through 66604.
Okay, Alabama Code 66590. Alabama 66590. Is that under that section?
Through 66. It has to do with what it has. It is explaining what you do in these circumstances, as far as court-wise, as far as who can litigate and what points they can begin litigation and end litigation.
Okay, hold on.
Got me?
66590.
I know, and through 66604. You know, that's a 6, a space, another 6, and then dash 604.
Yep.
And that's going to explain to you, and that is part of the Alabama Code. And to change the other wording that Wes Allen and Tuberville's lawyers are talking about would mean changing before in all circumstances that are stated in those 3 words meaning before, if you follow what I'm saying. Just like you talk a lot of times about changing the meaning after years.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But and it also specifies in 2 cases that set precedent that at these hearings the person must show domicile. Domicile is a whole different meaning than showing just
residency,
tax returns, or anything. It is actually complete showing of you being in that house at that time period. Now, what they might do is try to just get it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court not decide to change anything. If I don't know if it's possible or not, and just say, oh, we're going to say it's him. Do you get what I mean there? Instead of dealing with, the correct, are you following me here?
Yeah,
domicile, the correct, absolute,
right,
constitutional.
But let me ask you this question. If a statute conflicts with what the Constitution says, the court is supposed to come down on the wording of the Constitution. And the Constitution simply says before. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, and I want to specify, I don't have the numbers, but it does say at the point when either Republican, Democrat, it doesn't make any difference, puts the person forth and says this is our candidate, is the point where citizenry can actually come forth and say, I question it. You get me?
Yes. No, I get it. But I'm just saying that if I was looking at it,
it's supposed to be, yes. And what you might want to look at, though, are those 2 1940s decisions. You can Google that. 1940s decisions about defining domicile and its use by the state of Alabama.
Okay. Very good.
And it's going to tell you that, thanks a whole lot, but thanks for letting me say all that too, Scott.
Oh, no, absolutely, Charles I. Because, that's the kind of things that we actually need to think about. Those are the questions that the court should be asking and answering. And there's a lot of different ways to look at it. From my cursory look, if there is a conflict between a statute, no matter how long they've had the statute, and I would argue that I'm being consistent because that's where I am on birthright citizenship as well. I don't care how long they've been saying you can just get dropped off here and be a citizen. Right. The Constitution did not mean that, didn't start out meaning that. Everybody explained the 14th Amendment to everyone and said it didn't mean that, and it doesn't matter what we've done for the last few decades. if that's the case. But I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's where I'm at right now. Hey, Charles the First, I appreciate you, buddy. We gotta go. We'll be gone for the weekend. Y'all be safe out there. And these stories will hold. They'll still be the big stories.
That right hook of God, though, man. That preacher, he baptized.
I mean, you don't get to say to anybody, pastor, anybody, I'm going to do terrible things to your wife and kids, kill them worse, and the whole 9 yards without toting on a butt whooping, right? See y'all.
Amen.
Scott Beason, yeah, 110.